Oh no, that was the Facebook. Oh, because I did it on the beginning of the stream thing. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh well, we can scrap Facebook and YouTube. The Telegram's going strong, anyways. Thank you, Buddha. So what I was saying on, and again, this is more triggers. Like, okay, let's keep going through it. Okay, and like we process and go through, and we be love anyway. So, anyways, moving forward. So, thank you for everyone joining on Facebook and YouTube. You can finally hear me now. Whew. So with the ripping off Band-Aids and the triggers coming right now, obviously there are all these little cycle breaks. And of course, like this goes a long ways with what happened earlier with like, I went to like the mailbox or the post office earlier, right? Then like something was wrong with the barcodes and they had to come back because it didn't print out right or there was like a stripe through or something like that. Then I left to take the box back to the post office, but I left the box on the table and didn't take it with me to the post office. Then I had to come back to the house to get the box, to go back to the post office to drop off the box for the third time. That originally like, and it was just like one of those things where like, you know, the angels are testing like, okay, you can be divine once, you can be divine twice, can you be divine the third time? It's like, how consistent with it can you be? How much can you endure and take before you start getting into self-importance, before you start getting into bitchy programming, complaining, victim consciousness, before you start projecting and blaming and start making everything about you or it's all everyone's fault? How long until you get to that point? Because there's still all these little things inside that you put Band-Aids over. It looks good on the surface. It looks healed on the surface. There's not bleeding or anything. Nothing looks gruesome. There's no wounds showing, right? So it looks good. You've gotten by for a while with that, right? With that Band-Aid. Now it's getting ripped off. It's like, let's see how much healing has been done. Let's see how deeply you actually went with it. Let's see how much you actually reflect on it. Let's see how much accountability you actually took for it. And now everything that's left now needs to be accountable for. And that's what the experience is now coming into effect very intensely for us all. Where we're like, okay, it's like, I know this. I know I've been through this. I know I've dealt with this. I know I've transformed this. But there's these little pieces where you got half-assed with. You didn't want to go all the way with. There's little things that you held back. You couldn't forgive. The little attachments that you held on to. Every single thing has to go. Right? Divinity is pure. It's whole. There is no way in God's new green earth on 5D are you going to make it with any percentage of that ego or holding back or hatred or resentment or bitterness or just your own delusions about anything. It's all got to go. It's all got to purify. It's all got to heal. It's all got to be looked at and answered for. It's the only way you are going to make it. Because it doesn't matter how much work any other person does. You can't save anyone. You can't put anyone on your back and carry them to 5D New Earth. Right? And these are things, of course, a lot of people don't want to hear because they have loved ones, they have children, they have wives and husbands and different beings in their relationships that they care for, that they are very sympathetic but also very enabling to. And I'll share this too, that it's not a service to those beings. You are disempowering them and stealing their own experience of learning from them and actually slowing them down more, right? And this is going to test you to let go more and allow people to go through their own experiences, to learn their lessons and to stand on their own 2 feet and learn that they can do it. They can trust themselves. They can have faith in themselves. They know what hope is. They know what unconditional love and compassion, not for other people, but for themselves is. They can practice that and they can give it to themselves. All these different things are also coming into question too for every single body. Of course, it's not going to happen all at once. There's first, second, and third waivers. It's going to happen for everyone though. There's requirements for divinity. There's requirements for healing yourself and embodying your soul essence that everyone individually has to go through. Because you truly don't love yourself if you won't. You truly don't care about your soul essence and embodiment, ding, if it's not a focus or a matter to you, if it's not something that you work at every day to learn how much you hate yourself and how much you are in debt with love, how much you need to catch up with loving yourself, how much you need to learn new ways of loving yourself that you never even practiced before because the hatred is so deep. The lack of compassion, the lack of nurturing, the lack of peace and grace and holding space for yourself, supporting yourself goes so deep that it's affected your ability to give that to other people in your lives, your relationships, your families, the children that you have bore into this life that are part of your family, and you're still learning how to love them. It wasn't there before. And so, therefore, you get to this part where, like, nobody has it all together. Nobody's perfect. Nobody had the rundown. No one had the full pamphlet handout. No one knew exactly how to be the perfect human being. No one knew exactly how to be a perfect parent. No one knew how to do everything on this planet perfectly. So what's everyone putting up a show for? Why are we so prideful and arrogant and just stubborn with looking at it all? And then if it's not in alignment, okay. If it's not true, okay. If it's in the way, okay. Let's move it. Let's express it. Let's be flexible. Let's move around it. Let's find a way. Because I know at this point, and this is what the angels were like, they were coming at me hard early, like I was like literally getting ready for stream, and I started crying. I was like, what in the world? And they were like hard, like, you truly don't believe everybody was like this in the beginning, right? I was like, no, of course not. We were children. We were innocent. We were like pure. And they're like, okay. So how does that answer for everything else? And it's like, oh, another like freaking nuclear explosion inside. It's like it just like blows apart belief systems and attachments and different things. And it's like, oh, I don't want to go through this right now. It's just to deal with all this mental stuff before stream. I don't want to focus. And it's like, but how's that answer for that? How do you feel that justifies that? And it's like, is it really highest to go through? It's like, yes, look at it. Because any kind of resistance at this point, especially now that it's come to your awareness and then you fact that you justify that it's not highest, it's like, that's ego as fuck. And I'm like, you're right. So now I have to, like, it's just like constant bam, 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 bam. Band-aids being ripped off left and right. It's like I can't barely catch my breath before the next thing blows up in my face. I'm just like, oh. You know, it's like, okay, go through it again. Breathe, transform, let it go. Forgive, go through the process. Where did we stop at it in it? Where did we get left off? Where did we stop giving a fuck at? Where couldn't we forgive at? Where did we stop caring? And actually caring again to go back there and do it again. And actually do it right this time. Do it with love this time. Do it with integrity and trust, because we're experiencing the bullshit now because we didn't follow through. We're experiencing all the chaos now because we were not clear with what we were intending and manifesting in our life. We're experiencing a lot of bullshit right now because the stuff we've been building our whole life that we thought was a foundation has been fucking quicksand. And we've been sinking our whole life and trying to pretend that we're good. And we're not okay. Nobody's okay. And it's about getting real to that point where you can say, you know what? Spotlight's off. Close the curtains. Stage is done. The play's over. I'm done pretending. I'm done putting on a show for other people. I'm done putting on a mask. I'm done putting on emotions and feelings that are not mine for other people to make them happy when I'm not happy. I'm not okay. I'm not anywhere worth stable. I'm literally clinging and scraping, making sure that I make it through every single day. Meanwhile, on the surface, I put off the show that there's not even anything going on. There's nothing wrong. You know what? I watched my father do that for so long. He was a pro at it at some point. You know, after retiring from the military, and I mean, at this point now, it's like, I don't even care. You know, it's like at this point, like retiring from the military and like just needing to keep going, you know, I understood that and needing to be productive and push himself. You know, but there was a part of him that needed to put on the show still. needed to show other people that he didn't get weaker, he didn't get older, he didn't step down from the high place of power in the military that he was currently at, that what he was doing now was equal. And he was so consistent and adamant and pushing that kind of energy where it's like you couldn't match him. You couldn't stand up to, you couldn't equal to him at all. And that's the same energy where a lot of people, they have invested so much of their life in a bullshit lie, and they're so bitter with it now at this point, they're fucking committed to the end of their life to play that fucking part out and show that they didn't break. They're still it. They're still the dime piece. They're still the diamond. They're still the rock. They're still the creme de la creme. They didn't break with age. Retirement did nothing to them. They stepped up. They got more power. They got more money. They got more things to do. You know, it's like, at what point is it, did it ever give you what you wanted? And I feel like, of course, what I'm talking about was years and years ago. I don't know where my father is right now. I don't know where he's at in his consciousness. I don't know what he feels or what he thinks now because we haven't talked in like about 5 years. So I don't know that man at this point. So, of course, no judgment and projection onto him or anyone. These are, of course, all these different things from my growing up that I experienced that a lot of the collective still to this day still reflects, though. And it's still relative. Because we have to let go of the broken dream, what you 20, 30 plus years ago thought you were going to build for yourself and your family, the utopia, the paradise, the vacations, the rest of your life that was going to be paid off and, you know, pain free, and you could get old together and die together and not have to worry about anything. Those things were never really meant for you. It was never really a dream for any of us. It was some bullshit stuff stuffed down our throat that's like, hey, you know, this is what being a human is like. This is what you got, like, you know, like about 10, 20 brief years, and then the rest of it's downhill for you. Good luck. It's like, what the fuck? And everyone's sitting there playing into it, and they're like you know, like running after different creams and stuff, trying to get older or younger. I'm sorry, well, that's true. Like, part of the collective is trying to get older. That is a part of it. Like the whole, you know, I don't even. That's actually scary to even go into that level. Of like, you know, the youth actually trying to adult themselves, but of course, it's also coming from the projections from the older collective. You know, the elders and different beings, the parts. Not everyone. Don't get triggered. Of course, the parts of the collective that, you know, are of that lower consciousness that, you know, project those things on the collective, that want the youth to be, you know, just things we don't need to even go into. But you know what I'm picking. You can pick up what I'm talking about. You know, those things, it's all relative. If you can't look at it, if you can't feel into it, if you can't reference all of it and see why we are in the shit that we are in right now today, you're part of the problem. You're part of the reason why everyone's so docile and so aloof and so stagnant and so trying to look behind their back at the fucking stars instead of looking at the fucking explosion in their face and realize they need to respond. They need to respond now. Response is required by everybody on this planet. Not reaction, not explosion, not freakouts, not spins, but responses. Conscious awareness and acknowledgement of what is going on and responding to it with a higher reality, with a higher response, with a higher outcome, with a higher love that can override whatever's going on and flip it. Of course, it's everyone's test. We're not perfect. We're always learning every single moment. But are you actually giving effort to that? Are you pushing yourself to better yourself, better than you were yesterday, an hour ago, 2 minutes ago? Did you reflect on what this morning was about? Did you reflect on this afternoon already? It's about 9:29 p.m. at night Eastern time. Have you reflected on this afternoon? Have you looked back at this evening and what this evening was about? Have you looked at that energy? What went on, your thoughts, what you were going through, how you felt? Have you looked at that yet? You see, how present are you actually with your experience? How much do you care about where you are? How much are you guiding and supporting yourself and navigating yourself through your life? Because if you're still on 2 weeks ago, if you're still worrying about 3 weeks from now, that hasn't even happened yet, you're nowhere near where you need to be present to actually help yourself get better and move into a higher reality and actually expand and heal and grow and actually get some stability under your footing and actually stand on your own 2 feet. You're spreading yourself way too thin, worrying about things that are so far out there, and none of it is anything you can actually work with right now in this moment. And that's something that it's very important to look at. If it's not something you can apply right now, if it's not something you can work on with right now, if it's not something you can consciously reflect on and move through and transform and feel right now, it's not highest. It does not matter if it's true or not. It doesn't matter if it's real or not, or happening or not. If you present momently, in this moment right now, cannot apply it or deal with it or change it or flow with it or transform it in some way in yourself, then it has nothing to do with you. And you need to let it go. Let go of all attachments. Let go of all worries or anything that has to do with it, because it has nothing to do with you. And that serves only as a distraction to keep your focus on something external outside of yourself. Meanwhile, you are not moving forward. You are not healing. You are not expanding. Because the whole time, all that energy that would be doing that is focused on whatever externally you are focused on right now, distracted with. The world, the news, what's going on in Portugal and Australia and Europe and France and Paris, no matter where it is happening at. Your energy is going there. It's not here with you in your body with what you are presently going on. If your life, if your internal experience was a news broadcast that you watched every day, every morning, every night with your coffee and your donut and your biscuit as part of your daily regimen, you would have no fucking problem with it. But everyone has a lot of resistance with looking at themselves, so that's not the important thing for them. It's not the focus that they really want to look at every morning, day, or afternoon and really look at where they're at. Let's see the real news. Let's see the real updates of what's actually really going on. Let's look at the self. But that's uncomfortable. That's a little too much for everyone. So we'd rather externalize, look at the world. Let's look at what everyone else is doing. Let's look at what other people are choosing to do. Let's look at the stupid shit other people have done. Let's look at all the crimes and all the things that other people are guilty for. But let's not look at ourselves. Let's not put ourselves in that hot seat. Let's look at what we've done. Let's look at what all the crimes that we've done that maybe we've got away with. That maybe we have an answer for. That maybe nobody else knows about. That makes you a little steamy and hot under the collar, huh? Those kinds of things is what we really need to be more real about, because we are no better than anybody else. We are no powerful or less powerful than anybody else. Everyone just simply has a different experience, but if we keep clouding our eyes and lying to ourselves and pretending that things are perfect and fine, we're never actually going to get to a core awareness, actually break the cycle. It's just going to be Band-Aid, over Band-Aid, over Band-Aid. And we keep coming up with excuses and justifications and reasons why and going around and around. And everyone gets tired and more tired until we just snap and say, fuck it all. And we sabotage everything. You see, we've been there too. That's the derangement of the ego, where even it will go so far to proving a point that it will break a cycle to sabotage it and destroy every outcome for a higher potential at that point. So attached to holding and claiming its own truth, its own perception of reality, that it won't let go, that it will burn everything else around it just to prove that point. I mean, that's satisfaction for the ego. So many people in many different parts of the consciousness, it's all changing, it's all coming up, it's all getting processed right now. It's all reflection of what we have to let go and trust and, rely on and accept for ourselves, that it's gonna, it's gonna get messy before it gets better. We still have the Pluto return coming up on the 22nd. We still have, that's like 2.5 weeks from now. So, not that far off. So a lot of things are coming up fast, and the intensity is gonna rise. So as long as we stay stable, with all these different crazy triggers happening, like clearly what you've just seen, what I had before, and then I found out pretty much like 40 or 50 minutes of the live stream on Facebook and YouTube wasn't even like audible because it's on mute. Like all these different things, you just have to like let it go. We've been here before. I've been here many different times before things didn't record or there's mute on. It's just like it's those little band-aids, those little parts of the stuff where you just have to let it go. Keep moving through, keep trusting. Like obviously it's going to trigger something to come forward, so it's okay. So not getting discouraged, still having faith, trusting, not losing self-esteem, not losing courage and bravery. Just keep going with the flow, and trusting that it's all gonna amount to something higher. So everyone, of course, it's not gonna be what everyone wants or likes, but this is evolution. It's change, it's growth, and of course, anything or a lot of the things that the ego hates are the best things that you could have ever chosen in your life to do. So, surrender is absolute key in moving through this process for everybody. But yeah, that was a very long, in-depth stream. But however, at an hour and 4 minutes, and we're still gonna do cards for real quick. So, go ahead and put your numbers in the chats. I actually don't know if anyone's even on Facebook, because if I was on Facebook for 40 minutes and no one can hear me, I don't know if it actually... There's 4 people on there. Like, so 4 people stayed on. That's funny. Anyways, so YouTube, if there's anybody on YouTube, Facebook, if you want to participate, we're still going to do the card trick thing. Not card trick, card pulling. And see, like, I'm not even transforming myself right now because I can already feel like that ego trying to come in. It's like, oh, like basically most of the stream wasn't recorded. It's like it automatically tries to diminish what you've already done. And I know the people that need to hear it heard it, and especially Telegram's been recording live the whole time. So, like, just let it go. Like whatever needed to be said, whoever heard it, whoever caught whatever words, it happened. So move forward. And of course, things happen for you to learn forgiveness, learn, not to attach, not to control more, not to go into micromanaging, like, oh, well, next time I'm going to make sure, no, it's not to push me into like a fear-based thing where like next time I'm even more schizophrenic and OC about everything. It's not meant to push me that route either, So of course, everything is for a lesson to clear everything up and to learn that balance and that harmony between all spectrums, just to flow through it and with it, not to like take anything personally or to take it like as a failure or anything. Just keep moving up, and it's all going to transform something, right? So, put a number in real quick. All right, put the number on there, 1 through 100. Facebook, YouTube, you know the drill. Telegram, folks, if you're new, I know it's a little difficult to understand. Just go back to the Telegram chat that you were on before you click the join as listener. And then there's a comment box underneath. You can put the number you want in. Give everyone a couple minutes. And I guess I'll go ahead and do a collective card. All right. Krista Pond said, reflect on my day and energies in my nightly shower meditation. It's a wonderful way to level up. And that's true too. You can have like a discipline and a practice at the end of the day where, like a shower meditation or like a prayer before you go to bed at night, where you just like don't go to bed heavy, don't go to bed like saturated in density or just like, fucked up energies or dysfunction or lower attachments and fears and being upset. And go to sleep like that, because it's gonna be really fucked like you have like that, and it's not good energy to process. So having those sacred moments where you like a shower meditation, a prayer before bed, or go outside and sit with a tree meditation before bed, anything, looking at the stars, or having just like a moment with yourself, where you just kind of reflect and release the day and kind of like have a breathing exercise where you don't go to bed so tense and rigid from what you just went through. That's important for you to like take care of your body, take care of your emotional and mental well-being, your spiritual well-being, and make sure that you are refreshing yourself, whenever you do have an opportunity. Because if you're not, that's self-neglect. It's self-abandonment, So it's wonderful tools to do that with. Oh, I love you all. Yeah, it's weird. I know you couldn't hear me on Facebook. I let it go. Not even gonna get mad about it. Alright, so the card for the collective. Alright, so we've got Chameleon Spirit. Act as if. Interesting. Let's see what they've got to say with that one. So number 14. So Chameleon Spirit shares her gift with you today to prepare you for changes that will greatly benefit you. Outer conditions are changing, and you're required to come into harmony with them so you can co-create your greatest dream. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Feeling sensitive? Good. Because that will come in handy, enabling you to determine how best to adapt to your environment and the people in it, while at the same time maintaining your integrity and inner equilibrium. Even if you feel you're in uncharted territory, Chameleon Spirit has complete faith in your ability to fit in and learn the lay of the land, adapting as necessary. This is a fortunate time to act as if and do as others do until the new ways feel familiar and completely natural. Life is offering you a great lesson now. Adapting isn't about losing yourself. It's about learning how to dance with others. Being sensitive and having empathy for others can become a heavy burden if you don't practice self-care. It's so synchronous what we're talking about. Could it be you're feeling stressed because you've tuned into challenging your emotions and that aren't even yours? Chameleon Spirits does not want you to adapt to these conditions by withdrawing or distracting yourself, hoping the feelings would just go away, or attempting to rescue. I'm going to read this whole paragraph again because it literally is exactly what we're talking about. So being sensitive and having empathy for others can become a heavy burden if you don't practice self-care. Okay? Could it be you're feeling stressed because you've tuned into the challenging emotions that aren't even yours? Chameleon Spirit does not want you to adapt to these conditions by withdrawing or distracting yourself, hoping the feelings would just go away. I mean, this goes back to the Band-Aid energy, like the whole playing it off, pretending, just like cutting it close, the cutting corners, just putting the Band-Aid on it. This is all the energy coming up right now. It no longer works. This all has to get addressed, looked at, because you're not going to fully heal if it's still there. It's not going to be the flip of the experience as long as there's a fragment of it that says otherwise. Because there's still a part of you inside that still says, I accept that other reality. I accept the pain, not the healing, right? So, it says, life is offering you a great lesson now. Adapting isn't about losing yourself. It's about learning how to dance with others. Being sensitive and having empathy for others can become... oh no, I jumped back to that last paragraph. Hoping the feelings will go away, attempting to rescue. Oh, okay, here we go. Hoping the feelings will just go away, or attempting to rescue another who may be having a pity party. You can be swallowed up by trying to manage it all. It is time to figure out where you end and the rest of the world begins. Not all conditions are yours to match. You need to distinguish your own color from the rest of the world right now, and take time to soothe your sensitive soul. Choose some activities that will restore your sense of being grounded, and avoid people who revel in drama. Take a break from social media too. Self-care and a timeout is the answer to this temporary dilemma. So definitely for the collective, it's like really, really, really spot on right now. If everyone's going through these very intense individual internal experiences, having those boundaries, having those self-care moments, not being so attached or distracted with what's going on around you, making sure you are as stable and as grounded as possible because of what's going on and what is releasing inside of us. We need to be rooted. We need to be grounded, And we need to make sure that we have a conscious awareness of where we are at so we can respond to our well-being instead of react, right? So it's going to help us all in the long run get more back in that flow and harmony and peace with ourselves, but also when you can do it for yourself, you can do it in flow with other people, meaning the community and the environment can be also in that flow too, right? So great lessons and teachings for all of us coming through. Let's do a sassy card and then we'll call the numbers. Probably won't have too many tonight because there's like only like 4 people. I haven't even checked YouTube real quick. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yeah, I know, Peggy. All right. So this card says, it's not everyone else's fault. It's yours. You are a grown-ass adult. Stop blaming others for your shit. Beautiful. Nothing says ripping off the Band-Aid like that sass unicorn card for everybody. Confirm. I'll read it again. It's not everyone else's fault. It's yours. You are a grown-ass adult. Stop blaming others for your shit. Right? So anywhere we have this Band-Aid where we're like still like, no, it's the other person. No, it's their fault. Like, oh, well, it's because of them. It's like those are all Band-Aids, right? You can accept or forgive or let go of 99% of everything. But if there's still that 1% of blame, that 1% of projection, that 1% of attachment or like anything, it's still not fully done. And that's where the Band-Aid has to come off. It's like, okay, let's go back through it. Of course it's going to irritate you. Of course it's going to be probably like just up to your neck in frustration that you have to deal with this again. But of course, breaking the cycle means breaking out of the cycle, which means being done with the cycle, which means not going back into the cycle, right? Therefore, wherever we are left off with the Band-Aid has to go, and those last little fragments has to come up and dissolve. So there is no more cycle anymore. We move forward and evolve, and we benefit everything else in life, right? This is what we are going through right now, and it's going to keep increasing. This pool of return that's coming for us all is definitely going to get more intense and squeeze a lot of this up for us so we can clear it. We can get out of it. We can heal it and move past it. Because we cannot see our healed self. We can't see the more loving, more higher, grander aspect of ourselves if we're still trapped in the older illusions or still trapped in the old traumas or still thinking about things that happened so long ago. It's like, move forward. Where are we at now? Who are we now as a person, as a human being, and what do we wish to co-create together as, with everyone else? And move forward that way, hold space that way, and create and co-create with each other that way. Yeah, it's much grander. So, all right. I know. I love you all. All right, let's go look at card numbers. Let's go in and call them. So, I don't think there's anything on YouTube or Facebook as far as numbers. I'll check again just to make sure. And then we'll look at Telegram. Dun, 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 dun. All right, cool. Wait, what number did I actually put down? So that number is going to be number 70. So whoever got number 78 or close to that, you are the winner. So we got Lindy Lou is a 72. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful rhyme. Lindy Lou is a 72. And we got Lori Reed, 56. We got Tiger Paul, 21. Danny Becca, 45. Ariel, 17. Jana Goodwin, 63. And we got RK Rebecca, 44. And I feel there's nobody on YouTube. Just make sure. Right. All right. So I feel the winner is Wendy Lou. Congratulations, Wendy Lou Love. Beautiful. Just a couple of numbers off. So, I feel Angels. We're gonna do Beyond Lemuria, Sassy Unicorn, and we're gonna do Animal Cards. Sweet. All right. All right, let's see what kind of animal cards Lindy Lou have, Angels. So, number 29, Giraffe Spirit. See the bigger picture. All right. What sassiness from the Angels do we have? Through the unicorns. Let's see. Let's poke the ego's buttons a little bit. Let's see if there's a trigger in there. Let's see. You are going through some tough shit. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it. Oh, wow. Angels are coming in hot with that one. We'll read that again in a moment. And then we're going to get a Beyond Lemuria card. Oh. One shot out. What's this? So. Oh, okay. So we'll read the Beyond Lemuria card first. So it's Fire Solaris Sublime. It's got like this beautiful double helix, but instead of like the DNA strand, it's got like two different dragons kind of intertangled together, white and green. It has 3 different eyes, so like a trinity energy in there. Each one of the eyes have a different picture in each of the eyes, so different multidimensionality. And at the bottom of both of the helix dragons is a woman, and she's kind of like knelt before four with the wings behind her, that kind of like rainbow, like peacock. So it's really, really beautiful. I know sometimes on the picture it doesn't pick up all that detail, but it's like really awesome artwork with that. So that Solaris Sublime card says, we live in a dualistic world, bringing light and dark into balance and being real with our humanness can allow us to reach more joy, authenticity, and depth. By accepting and loving all of ourselves as we are, we can extend more of this love and have greater compassion for others. This painting portrays the balanced dance of creation as the dragons come together. They dissolve into one with all that is, and this place of coalescence, both sides fuse in oneness. Not just as a remerging with the universe, but in an alchemical process of becoming the empowered creator force we truly are. Beautiful. All right, and number 29 for the animal card. Where's that book at? All right, so. Number 29, see the bigger picture. Giraffes stretch upward to reach the treetops and look down from a high vantage point. When Giraffe Spirit appears, it is a sign to observe from a higher view. In all aspects of your life, it is time to stretch your neck out and broaden your view. Open your eyes to what others need or are experiencing and see the bigger picture you fit into. No matter how great your wisdom, knowledge, or experience, you don't want to overlook details and connections that will help you better understand yourself and your circumstances. So stretch yourself. Look beyond what catches your attention at eye level and know that not everything is obvious as you might like it to be. Spirit will bestow upon you a new perspective that might make all the difference. Are you sticking your neck out too far, reaching out too high instead of looking around to see conditions on the ground? Your devotion to co-creating something new is admirable, but Giraffe Spirit is showing up to heart you that you have to look at the whole picture, not just the tasty leaves at the top of the tree. Perspective is necessary now, and that means checking in with what is going on around you and at your feet. Basically, in a long shot, meaning being aware of both realities, the higher and the lower. And that's interesting because like I feel I made a point that earlier when we were like talking in the team conversation about like the balance of the two, the harmony of the two is like being aware of not just the higher perspective but also the lower, making sure that you are aware of both spectrums because the world is still very much in both spectrums. We are evolving, but we're not there yet, so we can't dismiss everything that is current. So that is the healthy balance and harmony where we present momently are, not to say that where we will be soon, right? And so it was sharing where would I leave off, Angels? Okay, perspective is necessary, and now that means checking in with what is going on around you and at your feet. Or perhaps you are ruminating over the worries of the world instead of paying attention to what you can do right now. And some tongue twisters in this one. Where you are to bring about the changes you would like to see. Align with your highest good and know that the wild perspective is important. Transformation begins where you are. Do not get so far up in the clouds thinking that all the big problems that you lose perspective and forget to do your part on, however small it may be, to start enacting change for transformation, and that begins with you. Interesting. I mean, I feel a lot of that pretty much, it's just, the angels pinpoint basically you are in a place in your experience where you are aware of a lot of different, I would say, perspectives. Your intuition and your discernment, the way you can see things, you can see a lot of different, you can see all the different sides, you can feel into, probably everyone's perspective and kind of have that ability to put yourself not only in your shoes, but in the shoes of other people. But where you give that power to also comes into play, because you can put yourself in other people's shoes. You can feel them in your experience. But if you give your power to them now that changes everything, because the point of feeling them and their experience is for the empathy, for the compassion, for the support and holding space, and to, know where you need to be flexible and push that energy towards, not to give your power and your focus and distract yourself with what someone else's experience fully is, right? So we learn that boundary line. We learn the balance and the harmony, and I feel that's where you're at, is learning how to have those boundaries with yourself where you are self-nurturing and self-supportive with yourself, but while also maintaining the external support as well for other people around you, but not draining yourself, not saving them, and not being a martyr for people. And those are other two big things to the savior programming and the martyrism. Two very big things that a lot of people who are sensitive, who are empathic, who are very much spiritual or about healing, and who are humanitarians, they get stuck in that programming where they want to save people, or they want to take all the hits for people all the time because they think it's going to make their lives better than other people's, or they can cut off certain bad things from happening to people that they feel they really care about. When ultimately you're muting that person, you're basically suffocating them in a sheltered, energetic space where they don't get to learn or grow, and they're gonna keep manifesting those crazy things that you feel you're saving them from. They're going to keep making those same choices. They're going to keep doing the same things that keep creating the scenarios that you feel like you have to be the white knight and run in and save them from, because they're going to keep making the same things because they don't know better. And until they get the lessons, until they understand why they don't need to make that choice, they're not going to move forward from that, right? And so that's where we have to step back. So we have to learn, like, yes, support them. Yes, hold space. Yes, be encouraging and stand up for people and support them. But don't get in the way of their learning. Don't get in the way of them growing, because you create more work for yourself, and then this makes you more tired and drained in the long run. You drain yourself by being a martyr for those people, by saving them, But you can only go so far because you're meant to sustain yourself, not 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus people. You're not here to be the battery for them. They're here to generate their own energy. You're here to generate yours. So that's the difference, and I feel that's where you are at with that, love. Beautiful. Resonate with that. Awesome. And yeah, just feel into that. Anywhere in your life that you feel like you're kind of like, maybe you're not expressing enough, you're not being creative enough, you're not pushing your own ideas, and you're letting your own ideas and the things you want to do in your life, you're letting that be on the back burner more. And I feel that's where it's getting more hit at home, and you're like putting other people's things first, and you're choosing to go along with what they want, or what their life plans or what your husband's life plans, trigger, so to speak, are, and you're not really listening to your own inner voice and what you would like. And I feel that's something is pushing you towards like, get braver, have more courage, be more assertive with yourself and your voice, and speak up for yourself, because you matter, you value yourself and what you wish to co-create and bring to the table and express and evolve through. Those are equally as important as everybody else's, right? And it doesn't matter if you're the wife, it doesn't matter if you're, the daughter, it doesn't matter who you are in any kind of situation, you matter, and you are just as important as everybody else. So I feel that's really important for us all to hear and work with that. But yeah, I love you all. I hope you all have a beautiful week. We will be back on Saturday around like 7:30, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, or not going to say take. I was going to, but whatever organic moment that actually happens. But just be prepared, and it has nothing to do with being tense or hesitant or anticipating or premeditate or having ulterior motives. It doesn't mean any of that. Just be prepared, have your tools, stay grounded, be hydrated, make sure you rest yourself, make sure you're not stringing yourself out too much, and you'll be able to balance yourself and go through this energy that's really, really intense and is not going to step down at all in notches of intensity at all. It's going to be intense for everyone across the board. But if you do your part and participate, support yourself, make sure you're prepared, hydrated, rested, you're stable, you're grounded, you have food in your belly when you need to eat, you're not starving yourself because you can't care for yourself, you're not going to get off that freaking couch from watching TV and actually feed your body. Make sure you're doing the basic things to support yourself, self-nurturing, physical care, hygiene, different things like that, and move through your day, right? Your experience will be significantly better than just letting yourself just go and just like feeling like shit the whole day and just being dramatic and playing out that whole energy too, and just being in that whole energy. Support yourself. It can be better. Not saying it's all gonna be rainbows and a pot of gold at the end of it right now. We got to get through some deep shit. It's gonna be nasty. A lot of things that we have not really wanted to deal with is coming up. Just be stable, balance yourself, be compassionate, be patient with everyone and yourself, and go through it and just realize a lot of these things just need to come out. A lot of things, they just need to be expressed. They need to be felt. You need to cognitively look at it like, oh, I understand now. Like, a lot of times, like, our healing is stopped because we consciously don't even, like, get it. As soon as we get it, we're like, oh, that makes sense. Boom. Universes collide and everything aligns in the stars and shit actually like happens because you finally get it. And that's all that needed to happen, was for you to get it. Not for you to strangle someone, not for you to wrestle the cabal to the ground, not for you to march onto the Capitol at DC and proclaim your fucking whatever. All it took was you to get it, to understand, to intellectually feel that in your heart. Then everything changes. And that's how simple a lot of the transformations and healings can be and are getting to be as we get more intense in this energy this month. So, buckle up, everybody. Hands held high. Remember to say we. It's going to be fun in different moments. Sometimes it can get a little scary for the ego, but hey, this is what we got on this ride for. We need the thrill so we can move up, okay? So, I love you all. Take care of yourself. Drink water. Be stable. Do your ceremonies. Take care of yourself. support each other, and have as much compassion as possible. Talking to myself, for yourself and everyone else, because everyone's going through it. It's going to be a wild spin, and it's not going to be easy, right? So you probably will see different parts of everyone come out and express itself that are unprocessed, that are unhealed, that are unresolved. And that's for you to be the caretaker, for you to be the nurturer, be like, it's okay. Thank you for allowing this to finally make it to the surface, because if this stayed in there, it probably would have been 2 more months of just misery for yourself. Spins and anxiety and control and freakouts and snaps and just sabotage of yourself. But the fact that you're saying it right now, the fact that you're showing it, because you're so done hiding, you're so done downplaying it, thank you. We can work on it together, right? It's gonna push everyone, and again, to reheart everyone, it's a 6-year too. So it's all about communications, relationships, connections, all those different things. They're all going to move up a whole other level. And so we're learning where we are also cutting ourselves short in all those different things for ourselves and with other people. And it all is getting scraped up. It's all getting combed through with a nice fine tooth comb. I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, but how much you've grown, how much you've evolved, and how much you've let go of and you've made sense with in yourself, now it's time for you to live it. Now it's time for you to finally have those manifestations of where you are in your consciousness. Because, of course, we can all agree it doesn't feel good to consciously transform and evolve somewhere beyond and then have a physical reality that's not simply the same reflection of it anymore. It feels very uncomfortable. It feels very suffocating. It feels very like it's squeezing you and you can't breathe, right? This is going to help us all collectively get to that level where we can actually break free from that and manifest higher things for ourselves. But these little fragments, these little band-aids, they got to get ripped off. They got to get looked at and fully, dealt with, okay? Covering things up anymore doesn't heal it. It doesn't make it go away. It doesn't make you a better person. And it's not going to make you feel any better either. So, this energy is going to push everyone to go deeper, face ourselves and our truths. And definitely, we're all going to be all the better for it, towards the end. So, thank you, angels. Thank you, love. Thank you, creation, the galactics. Thank you, prime source, God of all creation. Thank you, mom. It's all going to be better. It's all going to play out, and it's going to be okay. Okay, I love you all. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you again on beautiful Saturday around 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern time. All right, I love you.